Good afternoon, Bumi West and Adekunle Adebayo. I welcome you
Yeah,
back to Jim Dabusa show. Once again, thank you for coming. We start wasting our time this afternoon. Our case study based on corruption. We know what corruption means in our society, in our community, among the families, husband and wives, friends, colleagues, partners, even politicians, and above all, we will start on general questions on corruption. Once again, Bumi West, thank you for coming to Jim Dabusa talk show. Adekunle Adebayo, thank you for coming to my show, Jim Dabusa show.
thank you.
Let me start my question with Adekunle Adebayo. What kinds of corruption that basically rampant in our society?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, corruption is something that pervades. That is, corruption is almost everywhere in the global world. So, a lot of bad things or bad habits within our societies are classified as corruption. To mention a few, we have these, like I said, we need to look at the fact whereby people treat people differently. People treat, a set like things like racism, nepotism in Africa, bad administration in terms of then not respecting people's rights, people infringing on others people's rights, people try to, cheat and giving undue advantage to people in business competition, and people also through greed try to steal from people, from people's wealth, or taking things that does not belong to you, or having the high when you get enticed with other people's property, or people that try to show off. These are some of the things that cause corruption in our society. And when we look at it, when you look at the way we have started from our forefathers, these are people that are very content with what they have. And this is the contentment actually narrowed down the level of corruption during their time. And the major crush of this corruption is about wealth, people taking what that does not belong to them, people robbing people of their own property, or taking what does not belong to you, or trying to cheat people from what is theirs, or trying to claim rights when you, or even promises whereby you give and you don't feel obligated to people. You lack respect, you dishonor people, then you don't have empathy for human being. Some of these things are corruption. And like I was trying to say then, greed is almost like the root of most of these things. Some people get greedy, and when they even make promises or they make agreements, they want to now think that Shebi is me that is the secretary, or I'm the one that is running the show. It shouldn't be 50-50. But it's been agreed, ab initio, that it's going to be 50-50. So we need to show respect. So lack of respect from the fact that people also want to show up, especially here in Africa. People like to show off. And this show off thing is something that is new, that was invented by our people, maybe after independence. People want to show wealth because, and they try to also do things beyond their means. So these are some of the things that cause corruption, and which translate into, we definitely will see that in any society, especially in Africa, there's always this corruption of need because of the inadequacy of resources. People need some things. So peradventure, for some of those, the government will have to be blamed, but the government can tackle some of those by making provision for some of those things that are lacking, to make people not to be less corrupt. But however, is there, but it can easily even be solvable. It's solvable is in itself. But the one that is driven with by greed is the one that you cannot. It has a monumental effect on the society at large, and it affects the living and relationship of people in a society. So these are very many of you I could remember regarding corruption in my area here in Nigeria. Maybe I'll stop here and wait for more contributions.
Thank you very much, Adekunle Adebayo, for your contribution. Bumi West, do you have anything to add to what Adekunle Adebayo had just said now?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Adekunle Adebayo, and thank you, host.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
As we know, corruption is something that manifests in various forms. It can be bribery, it can be embezzlement, it can be nepotism. And he has mentioned, he has gone deeper and explained everything. And we all know that corruption can be something that is not always easy to digest. It happened in economic factor, political factor, social factor, and then we all know that when things are not the way it's supposed to be, that is corruption. For example, normally there's supposed not to be bribery to get a job. For you to get your salary, you're not supposed to be bribing your place of work. For you to get your money from the bank, you have to queue. Because people are in a rush, and greed is the cause of everything. And the way forward is how to tackle corruption more, because it's global thing, and it happened, like he said, like Uncle have said, it happened all the time, even in individual home, individual place of work, in the places of religion. There is always favoritism. There is always a high chair, a throne chair for rich people. There's always, oh, do you know that is my mother's cousin son? That is my daddy brother's daughter. That's my niece, even if they are not qualified to get the job. So those are the places where corruption hides, and we need to fish it out and abolish it if possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bumi West. Let me throw this question to you, Bumi West. Has corruption affected your life before? Have you witnessed any, sort of corruption?
Very well. I have opportunity to say this in the public, and I'm appreciating the platform to say it. This is a personal experience when I was growing up in my teenage years. I was in Nigeria. I got my SAT, my certificate of secondary school at the time, and I got the cutoff mark for JAM. to go to the university. So I need to go to the university to apply for my admission. Everywhere I go, there is a stumbling block. The first thing they ask me is, "Who is your daddy? Who is your father?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm." You see, I was so like naive at the time. I said, "I didn't bring my father." They were like, "Oh, she doesn't understand." So that set me back 3 years because I don't know the dean of faculty. My father don't know anybody in the education sector. Is all he does at the time, he sells cars. And as a girl growing up in a large family, you cannot sell a car where your brothers have not even started selling a car. So it affects me growing up in Nigeria. So I face it squarely in all my way of looking for admission at the time. But that is a very close one that I want to share to the world. That it is a common thing, and there's nowhere to turn to when you don't have people with leg, as they say it in those days. Then you are stuck. You have to do something else. So that's how it affected me personally, growing up.
So they want to see your dad so
Yeah.
that they can take something back, or what?
Honestly, I have no idea. They said the first thing. Okay, I went to Lagos State University, and they look at my CV and they said, "Who is your dad?" I was asked, "This I wanted to do this, but it wasn't just their place. I went to College of Education. I went to do because people always see me as it can be a newscaster. Then I was so enthusiastic to be a newscaster. I went to do mass comm. I went there, took my form. They didn't give me opportunity. That was 3 years setback. Then my daddy said, go to London to read. You can't read in Nigeria because I have no legs. Yeah. Let's say that's what my daddy is still
But
alive. So
you have the qualification.
yeah, I have the qualification, but there wasn't
You
any
just
because people that have legs, the corruption, they always have a nickname. So those who have legs, they can get in. They don't even need qualification. But at the time, my father don't know anybody. He only know his cars, and other people that they sell cars together. So he couldn't help me, and he won't leave his office for a girl. No, that was my encounter, and I am so grateful today that corruption has pushed me. I wasn't involved in corruption, of that level. So I'm grateful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bumi West.
You're welcome.
Adekunle Adebayo, did you have anything to add? Just 1 minute. If you don't have,
It's still around the favoritism thing that we're talking about. But having said that, is something that maybe from Madam Bumi's side, maybe what was expected of her then was probably to involve the dad. And these are some of the bad practices that we are talking about. What are people saying? What are people looking for? People are like trying to open up their radar to capture people that could make life different or a bit easy for them. So if your dad had been in the picture, your dad probably could have been asked for one thing or the other. Then because of you, your dad probably could have also given in. Some of these things are bad behavior that we talk about. Is so prominent in our society here. I know from the jump thing you are saying too, it happens to me. So it happens to so many people, whereby what are they saying? Even the person that has a lower mark, that is a lower mark to your own, if he or she brings his dad, then and the dad is known, it's like face to face. They don't have business with you. Well, with your dad, I mean, they already built that, maybe you say network. So some of these guys are opening network for themselves. And that is why, without minding your own career or your future. So that is the bad side of it. So it happens to most of us, and it's a terrible thing to start with, honestly. But it's good for Bumi because he went abroad. I mean, she went abroad.
Yeah.
So what a lovely thing to hear. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Adekunle Adebayo and Bumi West. Thank you very much. Let us move to the next question. Why did you think people are corrupt? Why? Adekunle Adebayo.
Yeah, like the little one I just said earlier on about people are just deliberate to want to corrupt. It's a deliberate thing, and it is so rampant in Africa. Or let me put specific Nigeria. There's this fundamental lack of need, which we all know. But what usually, some people will not beg, even when they lack some things. And even the Biblical and the Holy Book supports. There are people you know genuinely they need, they lack something, but they will not beg you. When you help those people, you are doing God's work. Because you are identifying people that actually need, and you are helping them, rather than people that begs. But most time, what I will tell you is that it is people that ask you, even as we are sitting down here, it is your relation, your relative that troubles you for one thing or the other that gets. The other lady there, or the studious boy there that just think that auntie has her own things, this and they don't let me bother her, will not get her things done because he's not asking. So you will feel this natural being that, oh, it should be okay. He is okay. That's why he's not complaining. But he's not okay. But he doesn't want to. But so people minding their business, people taking charge, and people feeling responsible, accountability for their own actions. But we lack, I mean, we drop all those. And that is the genesis of corruption in our society. When people just feel that, oh, my salary cannot take me. My brother is taking like 3 times my salary. So I can use my own to boost. Just, I know that by next week, by the time I ask my brother, he will give me something that will take me for the month. I use my salary to go to beer parlor, and I furnish it there because a brother is somewhere there. So I'm not being fair to that guy. So that's where we say corruption sometimes is something that starts from need. Then it grows into greediness. People lacking empathy for other people. People, you know, we have in this society whereby some people will not even fear God, and they continue amassing wealth, and to a level that they don't even, their generation cannot even use it. We have seen this country whereby a governor was paying for an unborn child school fees with government money. So, like I said, don't let us from the question. The question is what naturally causes is maybe sometimes we want to think we need, but it's not all the time that our needs too is what we need, we actually need. So greed and sometimes open eye, peer group, then show off. We want to do more than ourselves sometimes. And at what cost? If it is at my cost, fine. I don't want to behave like I'm okay, good, by relying on my brother's stipends when he has his own responsibility. You understand? So it's a bad behavior. Bad behavior, peer group influences, and all these things causes some of this corruptional behavior. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you very
well,
much, Adekunle Adebayo. Thank you very much, Adebayo. Bumi West. Can corruption be a good thing in our society?
Yeah, if I have to continue from where Honorable stopped, you can see the cause of corruption is economic factor, is poverty, lack of economic opportunity, and income inequality. The political factor is weak governance, lack of transparency, and ineffective legal system. Social factor is culture norms that tolerate or even encourage corruption practices. The effect of corruption is not good. It's never, there's one saying that life is not balanced. It always make economy bad and make people feel worthless because some people are putting in all their effort to work hard to earn peanuts, and some people are sleeping and they're giving them the money or whatever they don't want. Life is not balanced, and it's not, corruption will never be a good thing, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bumi West. Adekunle Adebayo, did you have anything to add to what Bumi I just said before we move to our next stage?
Yeah, just to, I mean, she's looked at it from, elaborated on it based on what happened in our society regarding the influence of government, which is our leader, that has to do with administration, and the social factor, the cultural factors. So, and when you look at all this, is a broader picture, and you see, even we need to also know one thing, that personal traits too, maybe, that could hard, because even in any society, in any norm or realm, the people that will not yield, that will not buckle. You understand? That is, indiscipline will be done, yet some people will be disciplined enough to stay the whole haul and maintain their status integrity. So personal traits and personal experiences in terms of upbringing could help. However, in our society, is the effect is frustrating, because you get your things done only when you do the opposite. When you want to be in discipline, that's when you get your things done. Because those, from what she said about the legal system, people don't get redress for such of those actions. People don't get, when you do the right thing, nobody hails you. When you do the wrong thing, you don't also get punished. So that also drive people to want to go the bad way, because there are no repercussions for doing the bad things. And some of these are the maladministration that probably encourages and promotes corruption in our society, especially in Africa.
Thank you very much, Adekunle Adebayo and Bumi West. But you guys, you left a lot of things untouched.
Untouched.
Is corruption only based within the politicians? Is corruption, if you look at the area of corruption today, it's not based on politicians at all. And if you want to look at it, among our youth, there's a lot of corruption there. The old ones, both ladies, boys and girls, within the family, there's a lot of corruption there that we people, or you guys, left to talk about. To me, if you look at our society today, a lot of people have been saying corruption, corruption, corruption. Our government is corrupt, bad leadership, bad government, bad this, bad that. Did they check themselves? The root of the corruption. When anybody, let us look at in this area, in this arena, you went to primary school, finished from primary school to secondary school, you do, you went for A level, back to universities or colleges of education, whatever. And later the shortest way to make your money, join politics. Your promotion will be what? Rapid. And before you know, you get somebody. Your purse will be full up if you know your way to the top. I think corruption have started from the grassroots to the highest level, which we need to talk about. We need to balance it. When I look at the TikTok, look on Facebook, Instagram, or social media generally, I saw a lot of people shouting, ratting, etc., etc. They were shouting our government are bad, our government is this and that and that. But they too, they were corrupt as well. They forgot that they too, they were corrupt. They left it behind. Among those people that are shouting for that our government are bad are the same people going out with women, are the same people going out with men, are the same people killing the boyfriends, girlfriends, manipulating, do all sorts of rubbish things, and they will come on social media by saying that our government is corrupt. Whereas they too, they corrupt as well. Greed. So those are the area and those are the avenues that we need to look at. If I say that our government is corrupt, did I check myself as well? Am I be honest to myself? Are you be honest to yourself? Those are the area that we left. Pastor corrupt. In every circles, most religion leaders, both either Christian, Muslim, Abalis, or unbelievers or believers, are corrupt. But we quick to judge the government. We quick to jump the gun and say government are not doing this for us, government are not doing that for us. But corruption is rampant. It's so crazy. It's so madness. Corruption is a norm in our society. The area to check and balance. And how are we going to check and balance of corruption in our society when we are not honest to ourselves? So corruptions is a form of things that need to be, we need to, check and balance. You need to check and balance. I employ somebody to my place of work or to my office or to my business. I said, oh, I want the youth to grow. The same youth that you employ is the same youth will not thinking of collapse your business, your empire. But if the same youth wanted to come out and tell you, oh, my boss is bad, this is corrupt, the government is bad and corrupt. Those are the corruptions in our society. And it's going to take a long way before this thing can be reduced. So I'm going to throw it to you. Adekunle Adebayo, before coming to Bumi, in what scenario can corruption reduce in our society?
Yeah, thank you. It's a tough one, but it can when from the household, corruption can be reduced from, we have to, like you said, we have to take it back to the minute, that is the minutest, which is the micro. That is from the family, start from ourselves, the family. Family needs to be built on transparency, integrity, and honesty. Then we have pledges for our country. For everything we want to do, we have to stay with our pledge. We have to be, it's like making promises. It's like making promise. You promise to do this, do it. Take it, carry it to the letter. This is what you have to do. Do it the right way. It is the indiscipline and the societal effect that affects people's psyche, and people get derailed. I usually tell people in the country that usually attacks government. The government they are not superhuman, but they are not angels. The government are formed by people ourselves. So if I'm not good from the home, definitely when I get there, I will join them. They say if you can't beat them, you join them. There's that syndrome, really. And it's just because we have many of them. They are more. And the people that want to stay upright, to do the right thing, they are less. So they outnumber them. So most of the time, you don't see the effect. But in our society, it's a problem because your voice will not get known. And at the same time, it's frustrating because you see these people that do the wrong things, getting their things done. So it doesn't send good signal. Then from the government side too, what do? There are no consequences. That is, people don't face consequences for whatever bad behavior so the laws are not really working well. So in Nigeria, it's a tough luck. It's a tough one, really, because people don't want to behave because they are nothing to fear. They don't see anything. So it's like, for instance, now a child that is brought by way of God knows that God sees him if anybody is not seeing. So he's not stealing because Baba God is looking at him somewhere that she doesn't know. But then by the time he gets out of his climate or something, I go to another realm, they would let him know that God is not anywhere. Oh boy, shine your eye. Oh, you know, that kind of a thing. So these are things that happen. And in this country, our own is so terrible in the sense that our DNA is built around show off. People want to plug, they want to, I'm using this type of, or what kind of phone are you using? So people want to do more than, so everybody is like trying to spend more than you earn. And when you are not balancing things, you definitely have to fall into corruption. So it will be tough for anybody to want to. I think what the president was trying to do is to probably build institutions. Maybe the institution can help over time, but it's going to take a while. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adekunle
Yeah,
Adebayo.
let me.
Bumi West, do you have anything to add? Just 1 minute.
Okay,
1
thank
minute.
you very much. The legal solution that I think is a legal reform. There should be a reform, and then strengthen anti-corruption laws and ensure that they are enforced. Institutional reform, improving transparency and accountability in government institutions, public awareness, educating citizens about the negative impact of corruption, and encouraging them to report corrupt activities. That is my own contribution.
Thank you very much. Before we go, both of you, Bumi West and Adekunle Adebayo, you mentioned democracy. That's one of the causes for corruption, the high levels of market and political monopolization. And you talk about it, that the level of low level of democracy, weak civil participation, and low political transparency. It's all of you have just said. And as I was said it earlier on, if you want to define what is democracy, we all know that democracy is the government of the people and by the people
For the people.
and for the people. That's it. So when we look at this definition of democracy, we know that every one of us are into it. We want to look at it. Let us forget about Africa or no Africa. I'm telling you, there's some country in other parts of the world that are more corrupt than Africa today. There's some Western countries that are more corrupt than African today. But what are we going to talk about it? We people, we left it behind and overlook it. When the Western countries, any of the Western country president or prime minister wanted to say, Africans are corrupt, Africans are corrupt. To me, it's not only Africa that are corrupt. I'm telling you, it's the way the corruptions are playing in Africa is totally different with the way corruption are playing in Western country. If you guys are following me.
Yes, we are.
Our corruption in Africa entirely is more open. That people will see that the governor there is corrupt, the president there is corrupt, the minister there is corrupt, the individuals there is corrupt. But when you look at the Western country, the corruption is also practicing there. Because, to me, they know the system more than we, Africa. How to play the politics more than us. Because the Western are the one bringing the politics to the African countries. Either from the French colonies, Portuguese colonies, or from a British colony, and etc., or American colonies. They brought democracy to the Africa, to the soil of Africa. And they know from the beginning how corruption is playing before they move the democracy to Africa. When we look back to the slave trade is because the way the Western, the way they brainwashed our ships in Africa, because the ships are ruling before the arrival of the what? British colony, French colony, or whatever colonies, or Portuguese colony, or whatever, or Western colonies. To me, I don't believe that the so-called the origin of corruption started from Africa. It's not started from Africa. The origin of corruption started from the Western arena. But the way we apply our corruptions is so deep. If we're not talking about so deep, deadly. I don't care what's going to come out from this, something there, if it is leading to share the blood, they will share it in Africa. That's a system of manipulations. That's a system of corruption in Africa. But still, we the Africans, we ignore it. When I say, oh, Africa is bad, Nigeria is bad, this and that, Ghana is bad, and that, South Africa is bad, this and that, Ethiopia is bad, this and that, Canada, Kenya is bad, this and that. We not be talking down our continent. Libya is bad, Algeria is this and that. We not be talking down our this, but we forgot to root out the causes or the originator where the corruptions started. So, Bumi West, let me throw it to you before we go. Do you think that this game of corruption is rampant, not only Africa, across the world? What is the easiest way that this thing, it can be eliminated? Corruption can never be eliminated, but reduce. You mentioned a lot of things, setting out some institution. So what else can we add to it?
Thank you very much. I want to let you know that when you fight corruption, corruption fight back. And is anything that happen in Africa, if 98% of it is happening in Africa, 5% is happening in Western world. And the way forward is we should address it immediately. We should not allow it to slip under the carpet. If we are able to fight corruption immediately, I think it's going to help all of us globally. There are some things that we call transparency. When you see somebody that is corrupt, if you expose the person, probably that will be a lesson for others. But if you are postponing to correct an impression, it's going to, by the time you wait, time, there's no time to check time. I think prompt action is what I will add to my own way of tackling corruption. Thank you.
Thank you. Adekun, before we go, do you have anything to add?
On tackling corruption, and you are looking at it globally. We have mentioned about strengthening institutions, and I think is the level the world is at now. Just like when we started the slave trade thing, it's all exploitation, and the exploitation has not left us. Everybody wants to gain from exploiting the other. I think it has become a game now that I think all of us need to dwell back and look at it. There are a lot of things going on now that borders on exploitation and try to mislead or try to give scenarios in order to cheat, and it becomes difficult. It's difficult. I know the president said one thing the other time, that the corruption thing is so big, it's so huge. But the thing is, if we want to live true to ourselves, you can only know of yourself when we are personalizing it. But other people, and that's where the legal system that Bumi was suggesting comes in. The legal system will help us to be able to at least follow the laid down rules and be able to get consequences and punishment for whoever abridge the law. It's a tall order, really, but I think it's doable. It's doable, but I really don't. I can't say specific now, apart from strengthening the legal system.
Thank you very much, Adekun Adebayo. Thank you for coming to Jim Dabusa Show. Bumi West, thank you for coming to Jim Dabusa Show. It's good idea and it's good discussions to about the corruption that's going on, not only in Africa, across the world. When we look at the world today, a lot of things is happening. Let us look at Ukraine. What is happening in Ukraine? What the causes of it today? When we check it there, it's good. Corruption is part of it.
It's still part of corruption.
When we look at other side of the scenario there, the Middle East, corruption is part of it today. Wherever when we look across Africa today, what is going on in the area of this Sierra group from Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, all this is corruption is part of it today. That's what is going on. Corruption is not only started from Africa. Corruption is started from the Western, from the day one. That, we are trying, or the Western brought this civilization to Africa. So by so doing, I'm only appealing to our people, both young and the old ones, especially our youth of today. In Africa, especially Nigerian, talking about our government, are corrupt. Our government is corrupt. Our government is this and that and that. They should check them. They should check themselves out.
Yeah,
When you
I
are in the
agree with
school,
you.
from a primary school to secondary school, university level, part of corruption is what? Malpractice. So when you
Yeah.
come into social media on TikTok, shouting, ranting that our government, corrupt, are you not corrupt? Are you not, malpractice is true. It's part of corruption.
Yes, it is.
You do malpractice in primary school, now to secondary school, you went to A level, and then you went to a university level or a college of education or polytechnics, and you are cutting a road to the examination, or you wrote everything down on your laps, you wrote it on your jacket, you wrote it down on your palm. It's part of corruption.
Expo.
So we need, I'm appealing to our youth to stop deceiving themselves. TikTok make things easy. Agree. Everybody are corrupt. Everybody are corrupt.
TikTok
So
is entertainment now,
our score.
and it's
We must
also
get that to our head that corruption is part of everybody. So nobody are clean. Nobody. You can't tell me that you are clean. For one way or other, you must pass short route. So you are corrupt. Not only our government. So we should start deceiving ourselves. There's a lot of people back home calling themselves, they were these activities, whatever they were calling themselves, they were doing. They also corrupt. Let them check them. How did they get the money they were spending?
exactly.
How
Even
did
the
they get the money
lifestyle
they
they
were
keep,
spending?
they cannot maintain it. They are
They will not come
sending
to
bad
that
signals.
I'm activists. Activists for what? Where did you get the money that you are spending? You now run it around the youth, and now you now come to deceive everybody that our government is bad. This government is this. The government is bad. They don't have money. Where did you get the money that you are spending? Where did you get the money for your house rent in Abuja, in Lagos? Where did you get the money to build the houses, buy cars, expensive car? You see young lady of today buying expensive cars, 500 million naira. It's part of corruptions. And this program come today, I am just, or we are just appealing to our youth. They should open their eyes very well. They should open their eyes and be focused, and they should stop deceiving themselves. They should stop deceiving themselves. Corruption is part and parcel of everybody.
Yeah.
True.
We are in Western country, so they can't tell me that where we are in the United Kingdom, they're all perfect. No, there's corruption within the system as well. There's corruption within the system in America. There's corruption within the system in Canada. There's corruption within the system of Eastern Europe or Western Europe. Not only Africa. We must clean ourselves. And it's the best thing. Once again, Bumi West, I thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to Jim Dabusa Show. We've reached the end of the program. Thank you once again. God bless you.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye for now. Thank you.
Okay. Good.